On this episode of the Angle of Attack Show, California Dreamin', I leave the cold Alaska winter to do my commercial flight training in California. I'd faced just about every challenge along the way, but I also flew in some cool airplanes. Come along for the ups and downs of flight training. My home, Alaska, is also home to some of the last true aviators. My mission? Grow as an aviator through flying with my neighbors and friends in the backcountry and beyond. At times I'll strike out on my own, even outside the 49th state, seeking new experiences, growing skills, staying sharp, and practicing safety. Jump aboard and ride along in this, another chapter of my aviation story. You could say that training for my commercial license started years ago, maybe perhaps when I first started my private pilot. And so now I would be traveling to California, where I knew the weather was much warmer than here in the snowy and cold Alaska, where I could do my training quickly and get it out of the way and perhaps get it done in 1 week. Now I already had about 600 hours of complex high performance time, so I was anticipating that this whole process was going to be a breeze. Before we went to California, Chelsea and I traveled to Las Vegas, where we would spend a little bit of time with family over the new year, and then we would travel to California.
We made it. It's late.
No?
Sir. Look at you. I love you.
After my brother's family met Apollo and we had a great New Year's, we went to California, where I would be doing my commercial training. I'm out here at the Camarillo Airport. I just got here a few minutes ago. As you can see, it's an IFR day. So the first day of commercial training is very much going to be a ground day, where we'll sit down and find out where my head is at in terms of the oral knowledge and the cross-country knowledge and all of the stuff that I need to know in terms of that. Camarillo Airport is a great little airport. There's a lot of character around here, just a lot of great activity, and so I enjoy being around here. I think it's going to be an energetic place to train, and while today is just a ground day, I'm very much looking forward to what the entire week will bring. Now, I'd be working with a friend of mine, Michael Phillips, and a new friend, Ariel, who is a CFI candidate. So here we're in Delta airspace. Just dealing with the tower. We don't need permission to enter. I guess we're exiting, but...
Alright guys, which one of you wants him?
You're not from around here, huh?
You ain't from around these parts, are you, son?
It's just funny because it's like everyone I know flies around here.
Yeah.
But it's probably just a lot different up there.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about before, like I like to use the references in the PTS. Pretty much they're just referring us to the FAR aim, both parts. You do need permission, but it's a different type of permission than it would be entering a Class Bravo, because in the Class Bravo, if they, if you ask for permission and they just give you your tail number back and say stand by, that doesn't give you permission. But if that makes sense.
So if they acknowledge you with your tail number, then you can.
Yeah. So all you have to hear is them read back your N number, and that's pretty much your permission into the airspace.
Gotcha. After we were done, Michael and I went to see the airplane I'd be flying. It's not that big one. It's the tiny one in the corner, the Piper Arrow. Okay, so I just got done with my first day of training, and it was a mind bender. I feel like my confidence is shaken. I feel like I'm very deficient in a lot of areas, and just overall, I feel like I'm behind the 8 ball, and I have a lot of work to do. It was a very difficult day, but I'm very much looking forward to moving forward and continuing to learn, and moving from the plateau I'm on now, going through this uncomfortable growth experience and getting up to that next plateau where I need to get. And that's the whole idea of training and learning, is sometimes it is uncomfortable and you just don't know everything. I'm tired, I'm fried, I need a bit of a break, and then I'm going to get back into it for the rest of the night. With my luck, you can imagine that the weather was still poor, but I got the opportunity to do a repositioning flight of a Piper Meridian with Michael. So we'd fly from Camarillo down to John Wayne Airport and see some beautiful IFR sites in between. Now, you'd think the best part about this flight for any pilot or av geek was flying in this amazing turbine, technologically advanced, fast airplane in IFR. And although it was really beautiful, the most amazing part for me was seeing Michael, who is a friend and a mentor and my instructor, a master technician of IFR, doing this so precisely and smoothly. And it just got me in the right mindset for the next step in my commercial training, in a way washing away what I had gone through the day before. So taking a clean break and just seeing everything in action really helped. So we dropped off the airplane and then we went to the Lion Air Museum for a few minutes, which is attached to the FBO right there, a beautiful museum, and then caught an Uber back to Camarillo, where it so happens that a corporate pilot friend of mine would be.
Bye.
Bye-bye. But I'm gonna run down here and say hi to Matt. It's so cool, he's here. Matt and I know each other from the flight sim days, and he's a Part 91 corporate pilot.
You'll have to unlock the door. I literally just fell asleep. That's why I'm all...
Oh, you...
Wow. Yeah, I had reached out to him.
It's 3. Just flip that, pull it up. Yep, and then,
What do I do with the key?
that one. Perfect. That'll put everything else up. Bench.
Fancy box.
Oh, yeah.
This is floppy drive to update the database.
No way.
No
way.
$2.3 million. And that's what you
get. Oh my gosh.
That's what you get.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's pretty wild. We got the subscription, but they haven't.
We got a floppy drive and Wi-Fi.
Yeah, some of you can see it there.
Yeah.
This is all you got. And you just twist it off and just take the
It was
cable,
so serendipitous to see Matt at Camarillo. I also met his friend Jesse Flies from Instagram, and then I finally got a chance to go flying with Michael.
Right rudder, don't, right rudder, and let it fly off. You're jerking it off. You're pulling it off the runway.
Okay.
So get that back pressure on there, get just a little bit of that angle of attack, and then let the airplane fly itself off. You're over-rotating. And part of it may be the trim until you get used to it.
I think it is. Yeah, that's typically what I do. I just let it fly off. I don't shoot for a speed or anything.
Well then, that's good.
Now I'm just gonna let most of this play out and you're gonna get the gist of what's going on. So I'd never flown a Piper Arrow before, and I was just really surprised by the performance and the control characteristics. So I struggled quite a bit in my first flight.
What you did then was you just went ahead and then put power back in, because all of a sudden you found out that you were dirty, you were slow, and you weren't where you wanted to be. Did you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay. So think about how you use your tools. Power, flaps, power, flaps, power. You know, flaps are just going to make your life miserable if you've got a lot of power out there. The whole point is to use the flaps, right, to maintain a target speed. Start your rotation. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Feet, feet, feet. Hold it, feet, 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 feet. Fly it in. You're over rotating still. You're just kind of letting it fall onto the runway instead of flying it on. That was a little better. You need a little more power. You're ascending. There you go.
Correct.
You caught it. Caught it as I opened my mouth.
Right.
That's a good sign. It's positive. That's growth. Whoa, 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 cowboy. Where were you looking? Okay. Just holding some right foot. Just hold right foot. If you got too much, relax the right foot. Relax the right foot. Pull that right foot in there. As that nose comes up, you need that right foot. Good. Let's try it again. Don't pull your nose up. Let's keep coming down faster. Here we go. Coming down faster. Coming down faster. Coming down faster. And now start working it out. Easy. Don't pull the nose up anymore. Don't pull the nose. Hold it right there. You got to see that picture right there?
Right. That's
about all you're going to want right there. And that was with no flaps. So if we've got flaps, it's going to be even lower than that.
Uh-huh.
This is no flaps?
Yep, no flaps.
Okay. Good. You don't have any power.
I know.
Okay.
Headed back to the airport.
Yeah. Don't dawdle. That's a dawdle if I ever saw one. Okay. Oh, no No Where did that come from? Where'd that come from? What'd you do different? Okay, gear up. What'd you do differently on that one?
I exerted my authority on the controls.
Yes, and you didn't overdo it, did you?
Nope, just
and you
nice
kept
and
that
smooth.
right foot where it needed to be, didn't you?
And then once the nose starts coming up, it really wants to rotate.
Oh,
So that's when I put even
left
more
those
pressure.
left turning tendencies. Where the hell were you on your private pilot check ride? And that was better, okay?
Better, not perfect.
Now, it was really interesting looking back at this footage because I don't consider myself a good pilot or a bad pilot. I just consider myself an average pilot. So it was great to have this humbling, growing experience, and a big thanks to Michael for showing me things that I can improve even at this level. Okay, here I am, the start of day 3. I feel pretty fantastic this morning. I was up until 3 a.m. studying, and then I got up at 6:30, so I'm only on 3 hours of sleep. I'm feeling pretty wired, but excited. I feel much better about my ground and my oral. I have to jump in here in a few minutes with Ariel and Michael Phillips. So here we go, day 3 in Camarillo for my commercial training. So I ended up having quite the interesting day. Yes, I went in and did ground with Ariel and Michael. I also went flying with Michael later, and the hydraulic pump on the Arrow actually failed, which grounded the airplane for the duration of my time there. But we got the opportunity to go flying with Mark, who uses Michael as a safety pilot to learn how to fly his Epic LT.
Check right fuel pump. Got good pressure. Going to left fuel pump. Perfect. Alright. Lighters are on. There we go. Okay, we got it. Okay, we're going to try to go down with the flight charge.
Sir, okay, flaps are good.
Helicopter 16 Golf, north pad, on the go, like to request 900 feet if possible. Helicopter 16 Golf, approved as requested, north pad, clear for the option. Approved as requested, clear for the option, 16 Golf, thanks.
Okay. G is 90, we're in good shape. Airspeed is alive, heels on the floor. Here we go. Okay, 64, 76, 85, you're good. Okay, 90, and off we go.
Tapping the brakes, gears up.
Gears coming up.
Hands are on the flaps.
All right, hydraulic fuel pump is on. Gears up, pumps off.
Flaps are up, igniters are off. I'm going to go autopilot, select, enter. Colonel.
Good, perfect.
6-3, Echo Papa, contact point view departure, good flight.
Echo Papa, contacting you. Good evening, Magoo approach, Epic 93, Echo Papa, 1200, climbing 4000, turning 180.
November 93, Echo Papa, Magoo approach, radar contact.
Now, Mark isn't a professional pilot, but he acts professionally I was really impressed by how good he was, how clean he was as a pilot. And it just goes to show that even though we become pilots, we have to get mentors and instructors like Michael or someone similar to Michael to help us continue to grow. And I could tell that that is something that Mark realized, and that's why he brought Michael along for these trips. And I could tell through the way that he was flying that it really pays off.
Minimum. 60. I have the airport.
Autopilot's off. Good.
Okay, last flap's going in.
Push, 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 push. Good.
We got a little wind coming right to left. Power's coming down.
Traffic, 11 o'clock. Safe altitude less than 1 mile.
Power's off.
Into beta. Easy, easy. There we go.
Epic 3 Echo Papa, turn left to Echo, contact ground, have a good day.
3 Echo Papa, can we go ahead and turn right?
Sure, turn right and contact ground, see ya.
Okay, going to the right, to the ground. 3 Echo Papa, thanks.
Tower Citation 820 Uniform Tango is ready, holding short at Lima.
After waiting briefly for a tower en route clearance from John Wayne to Camarillo, we are in the air again, of course this time at sunset and at night, and it was just such a beautiful flight in this amazing, clean, fast airplane. Okay, so it's the morning of day 4. So yesterday we decided that we were going to postpone the check ride. So I'm no longer going to be taking my commercial check ride this week. I came into this with the same mentality, or at least a similar mentality that I had to previous check rides, where I was thinking that if I was leaning on my previous skills and I studied enough, then I'd be kind of ready to go, right? Kinda. But my instructor, Michael, he saw just another instructor, you know? This is a top-notch tier guy, so what I'm having to do is take a major step up in who I am as a pilot and meet that standard. That's exactly what I want to achieve. It's important for me to achieve, but it's an uncomfortable, challenging transition. You know, I can't blame anyone but myself for not being prepared. We don't have to take this check ride Friday. It can be postponed to another time. I'm just gonna enjoy the journey and have fun doing this, and we're gonna get there. I think that I'm on the right track. It's just gonna take a little extra work. In the spirit of continuing on and building upon the things that Michael and I had achieved the prior days, we decided to jump into his Redbird simulator and take advantage of the fact that we had bad weather and a mechanical failure on the airplane, but we were still able to jump into an airplane, a simulator, and go through a bunch of scenarios.
Right rudder, left aileron, go, easy does it. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. Even when you crank it in, you don't need to be overly good. Nicely done. Alright, you got it.
Simulators certainly aren't perfect at everything, but one thing they are good at is repetition. So I was taking off and landing on this super long runway. I could do multiple takeoffs and landings on this one runway. And then Michael could also dial up the crosswind time after time after time to eventually the point where I just couldn't control it anymore. But it helped me get a feel for all the control movements.
Nice. You want to get up and do a happy dance? You want to get up and
I'll do my happy dance in the airplane.
Huh?
Now it's great to use a simulator to continue the progress that we had made because this was kind of the mantra from here on out. You know, things were not going as planned already. The weather wasn't good in California like I thought it was going to be. There was a mechanical failure with the airplane. I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was going to be. So I had to settle in to this new idea of how I was going to get my commercial pilot certificate done. And that just meant I had to be patient. I had to be patient with the process, patient with myself. I had to come up with a good plan. I had to execute that plan to the best of my ability. I had to roll with the punches and see what I could do. But that meant that I'd be going beyond California, beyond this week that I had planned on getting my rating, and into the next step, which would be going to Utah to visit family, finding a way to still fly there, and then come back to California after the fact and finish up. I'm really looking forward to those days coming where I can finish my commercial with Michael in California, but until then, there's more work to do and new horizons to discover. A big thanks to Michael Phillips for his mentorship and tutelage. Also, my good friend Mike Rushforth for the fitting music. Do you dream of being an aviator? Start your journey today at aviatortraining.com. Check us out on social media through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Got an aviation video project in mind? To collaborate with or hire Angle of Attack, reach out and let's talk. Thanks for coming along on this adventure, and I hope you'll join us on the next journey. Until next time, throttle on!